Starting with our brows, as always, using the Men Hair Wax. This is the brand Agiva. I tagged them in all the videos that I've posted so far. I did try this new one because it was sold out for a while, every website that I tried to find it. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the Agiva one. So we're sticking to that one from now on. So I did have a consultation with Cindy before I started her makeup, which I love to do with all my beautiful girls before I film for YouTube. And really what I like to do is kind of understand what their personal makeup style preference is. I kind of want to understand, okay, how do they like doing their own makeup one? Usually I'll get them to like show me a photo, so I have a photo reference, and understand what they like, and also what are they comfortable for me to do on their face. Like, we understand obviously it's for the video, but also I want them leaving happy and confident, and I want them to love the makeup look just as much as I do. So Cindy did tell me she likes it a little bit more on the natural side, still with that bit of coverage, but especially with the eyes, we didn't go too crazy heavy, which you're going to see soon. We only used like 2 shades, and we wanted to look really glowy, glassy skin type of vibe, and even on the eyes a little bit glowy, something to like open her eyes, but not so much look like an eyeshadow look, more so that clean girl aesthetic. So here I'm just carving Cindy's brows. Now when it comes to carving brows, like, you still want it to look clean and crisp, your brows, but you don't want them to look like over carved or like look like you put so much concealer or foundation to make it look a certain way. The best thing is to make sure you're using a really defined square brush, which is what I'm using in this tutorial here. And I use literally half the amount of concealer that I would usually use for a full-on glam client. So I'm using a lot less concealer and also keeping it quite thin. So you can see the thinness of the concealer I've applied from the brow and outside of it. And you want to just concentrate this like as if you're tracing her natural brow, not leaving any gaps because we don't want them thicker. And just using very, very, very light pressure. And then later on you can blend that out and make it look that little bit more defined. But the second you start using too much concealer or foundation or any liquid that you're choosing to use for this step, that's when it can come across a little bit cakey when you compare it to the whole face, especially because we know we are going more of a natural glam. We know that the base and the eyeshadow, it's not going to be like a crazy eyeshadow look, so we don't need that much product on the eye. Also, another thing I didn't mention is that we did not fill in her eyebrows at all until right at the end, where we just kind of defined the outer end of her brows, because as much as we're doing that soft glam look, we don't want the brows to look overdone. So we decided, okay, we're going to leave it right to the end and we'll see what she likes on her face if she wants to make them that little bit darker or a little bit more defined. And now with the eyeshadow, we're going in with a soft bronzer first, and I'm using a big fluffy brush because here there's not any direction where I'm going with this. This is just to warm up her whole crease and make sure it doesn't look too light or kind of like empty. And then we just blend this all over her crease. We did blend it up towards her brow bone as well, so it didn't look too harsh. And then going in with a some more fluffy brush, and I'm using the darker shadow from the Model Rock palette. And I'm focusing this darker brown shadow just on her outer V. And as you can see, even though we're not using a lot of eyeshadow product, you see me flicking the outer end of her eyes up towards her temples because we still want her to look snatched and lifted. We don't want it to look like it's dragging her eyes down. So even though there's little color and also it's very light and soft, we still want her looking lifted. Now this product is such a nice highlighter glow product. I randomly got this in one of my packages from Yes Style. So I was doing a collab with them and did a tutorial with some of their products that I loved. And I was literally shocked with this product. It's like a monochrome of like pinky, golden, champagne-y glow. And it just comes across on the skin and on the eyes like a wet kind of look. You can kind of see it on camera like now in the video, but in real life it literally looks like that expensive glowy eye look. I knew that was a perfect the perfect powder to use for the glow, because then that way I know it's not too wet where it's gonna move around on her eyelid during the day, but it's dry but it gives that same wet effect on the eye. Get the shade name of that highlighter and put it in the description below. But yeah, that was one of the products that really, really shocked me, and I use it till this day since they sent that to me. And then now with the liner, again, when I spoke to Cindy about how she likes her eyes to be sitting, she doesn't mind like a shadow liner on the outer end. Just nothing too dramatic, not the whole way, because she doesn't like it looking too dark and she doesn't want to make her eyes look smaller. So we did basically not really a half liner, more like a quarter liner, and focusing just right on the outer corner of her eyes and lifting it up on the outer end. And as you can see, I'm using my fingers to smudge out the end so it looks like an effortless flick rather than that blunt flick on the end. It looks like it's not supposed to be there. So it looks a lot more effortless lifted, and it gives her that natural lift without being overdone. Now cleaning up all the shadow fallout under her eyes, and I also use the micellar water and cotton pad just to further define her shadow liner. Make sure it looks nice and crisp, because I do like to do most of the work of the liner before I do the base, and then if I need to touch it up a little bit, I'll do it towards the end. But I want to make sure it looks nice, crisp and lifted before I start the base. And here we fill in the brows a tiny bit, and we both agreed that it would look nice with a little bit more deepness in color just on the arch and a little bit towards the end, but nothing too crazy at all. And for the brows, we ended up using a brow powder. This is the Model Rock in shade dark brown, but also with a very, very soft hand. So the lighter pressure allows me to control how dark the brows are going to end up looking, and also grabbing a little bit of product at a time, so then that way if I go straight in, it doesn't look too harsh. You can see here that I did take quite some time with this step, because I really wanted to make sure Cindy was really happy with her brows. And she did also tell me at this point that she likes to elongate the ends of her brows just a little bit. But as much as I elongated them, I wanted to make sure it's also the same angle where she likes the way it shapes her face. Because sometimes if you go too low, it can drag your face down. And sometimes if you go too high, it can look too straight and too harsh on the face. So we got there. She loved them. Thank you for being patient with me, Cindy. And now we're getting to face prep. And for those who know me, know that I love my face prep. I spend so much time getting the skin ready, extra moisturizer, extra eye cream, serum, setting mist, anything you know about face prep, I make sure I spend time on it. I like also to make sure each step of the skin prep, it's not just like slapped on and then like mixed all together. I feel like, yeah, that would still work, but also I think taking your time in between each step, like for example, you do the moisturizer, give it like a minute to breathe on her skin. Obviously make sure it blends into her skin and it's really sitting within her skin and not just on top of it first, but then give it like a minute and then do the eye cream and then blend the eye cream. And then if you like to work with a face serum, give the eye cream a minute to really sit in her face, and then go in with the serum, give that a minute. You know, I find that works best for the face, and it allows each individual product to work to the best that it can for that client. And also, even if you're using setting mist and all that, I still like to wait that extra time. But in saying that, not all of us have all the time in the world, so have a little fan and use the fan to fasten. Now with our concealer, we're using our new concealer. So this is our matte full coverage concealer. Again, we're not going too heavy with this because I do know it's quite full coverage. She doesn't need a lot of concealer, and considering we're going with more that clean girl aesthetic, we don't want it to look cakey under the eyes at all for the whole face. So we went in with shade 4, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was 3 or 4. Maybe I mixed them, but I'll double check. Back in the footage, I'll turn the sound on and have a look before I post this on YouTube. We mixed them, and I'm using a dabbing motion to place this under her eyes. And what I did, you can hardly even see where the concealer stops. That's how little concealer and how much I spread it into her skin before blending it to make sure it wasn't too cakey at all. And then I'm using this same concealer basically as her foundation. So I don't want to use any foundation in this tutorial because I want it to look like we've used literally 2 liquids overall, one for concealer / base and one for her contouring to give her the warmth and shape to her face as well. You saw we didn't use a lot of concealer at all, considering we're using it for her whole face. And we are blending with a flat foundation brush just to make sure everything spreads nice and smoothly on her skin. Now we are going to go in with a deeper shade of concealer for the perimeter of her face and to contour her cheekbones and jawline and also her nose. But we are using the exact same concealer, so everything is within the same consistency and looks nice and blended. And now once we finish blending all that in, I'm going back in with my makeup sponge and I'm just lightly pressing in the concealer under her eyes with very, very light pressure. This is like really key when you're blending your concealer. The harder the pressure that you use sometimes steals the concealer away from the under eyes and defeats the purpose of giving the coverage that you want. And also, as you saw, I did leave the concealer to sit there for a good, well, in real life time, it was about 4 to 5 minutes. And so as I was applying and blending that foundation, the concealer sat and it allowed it to really work the way it's meant to work under her eyes before I blended it. And then that way, when I did blend it with the sponge, I wasn't actually moving the product. I was just making sure it sat really beautifully and softly on her skin. Going in with the same concealer, but here I use shade number 8 and 9. So I mixed the two together because 8 was good, but also was a little bit too warm for her complexion, where 9 has a little bit more of a cooler undertone. So I mixed them together and I'm blending it with the exact same foundation brush that I used for the rest of the concealer on her face as her base. So I'm focusing this product more on the perimeter of her forehead, on her cheekbones, making sure it's staying lifted, and again, not using too much product overall because we don't want it to look too cakey or something she's not comfortable with on her face. And then we are also adding a bit of that cream blush. So this one, we mix cream blushes shade 2 and 1. So shade 2 is more of that Barbie pink type of vibe, and then here I layer it on with the really baby pink color to brighten just above her cheeks, so where her apples of her cheeks are, and just up towards her cheeks. Okay, so now when it comes to setting the under eyes, my biggest tip that's going to make the hugest difference is one. So say I've blended everywhere, I've done her contour, I've done her blush. Now I'm not going to go in and grab the powder and press it in under her eyes just like that, because obviously we've let that concealer sit for a while. We were talking, we were laughing. And now what that's going to do is, because there was movement under her eyes, it's going to increase the possibility of creasing. Now, obviously creasing is normal, but we want to reduce the amount of creasing as much as possible when it comes to the makeup, whether it's full coverage or whether it's more natural, clean blend. So I would say look up and go back in with your beauty sponge and make sure you re-blend it, make sure there's no creases and it's as smooth as possible. Then get the powder ready straight away. Press it into her under eyes, and also make sure you press it in until the powder disappears, so there's no clumps left over. So that's my biggest advice to get the cleanest and most airbrushed under eye. And now we're going in with our finishing powders, our powder bronzer, powder blush. We didn't do too much powder blush because the cream blush did a lot for us. And then back in with the glowing on the skin, and we used the Model Rock highlighter palette. But then I also did go on top of that with layering that first highlighter I used on her eyes from Yes Style, which made all that of a difference, just to make it look a little bit more of that wet glow and also complement her eyes as well. And now when I was speaking to Cindy at this stage, I showed her the glam and she was so happy with the way it was looking and she was so comfortable. So I was really happy with that. And we discussed what kind of lip color she wanted. And she did explain to me she likes that natural kind of healthy lip kind of color. So not so much too brown, not mauvey, and also not pink. So I opted out for the Kiss Cosmetics lip liner in shade number 25, which is when one of my clients asked for that type of lip color. That's what I always go for. So what I did is I lined her lips and shaped her lips the way she liked. And then I used a lip brush just to blend it into her lips rather than focusing on a heavy lipstick color. I'm saying that we didn't want to go with a full coverage lipstick. So what I did is I used the Teddy Lip Tint from Maybelline, but in the color that was like a mix between a pink and a red. And because that's not a full-on color in itself, I still didn't want it to look too much. So when I put it on, I diffused it on the back of my hand first and then applied it to the center of her lip and then blended it really well into her lip liner. So it kind of gave that like tint type of vibe, but you can still see through of her natural lip color. Finishing off with the Extra Glow using that same glow palette that I used on her eyes. And this was the finished look. How beautiful is she? I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you, Cindy, for being my beautiful model.